Okay, welcome back. So now we are going to take our T accounts that we did in the last video and we're going to put them into a trial balance. All right, so let me go back over to this and we're going to start with our assets. We're going to start with cash. I'm going to start with the account name. I'll do the account numbers last. And cash had a balance of 16,600. Debit. 16,600 debit. All right, and we want these numbers nice and formatted because, who doesn't like formatted numbers? All right, and we'll get rid of the zeros. All right. Then we had accounts receivable had an ending balance of 88,000 debit. So I'll put in accounts receivable with an 88,000 debit. Alrighty. Moving on. I have inventory has a 30,000 debit. Inventory has a 30,000 debit. Okay. Now my head's in the way. Prepaid expenses have a debit of 1,650. 1,650. All right. Accrued revenue has a debit balance of 40,000. And sticking with my assets, I have a lot of assets. I've got equipment with a debit of 313,600. Car. Moving on, I have accumulated depreciation. Now remember, accumulated depreciation is a contra asset. It's going to hang out with the assets even though it has a natural credit balance. So we're going to put it right under equipment with a credit balance of 100. So accumulated depreciation with a credit balance of 100. Okay, now we're going to move on to our liabilities. And our first liability is accounts payable. And accounts payable, is missing some transactions because this was 271 before. All right, I'm going to pause this and fix it, and then I'll come back. Okay, we are back, and look at that. Our accounts payable are 271,000. And I just remember this from last time, from module 3. So this was my bad. I apologize, but we would have been out of balance if I hadn't caught that. So I'm glad that I did. All right, so we have a credit balance in accounts payable of 271,000. So accounts payable, and we have a credit balance of 271,000. All right. Then let's go, and we have accrued expenses has a credit balance of 3,000, and that's liability as well. All right, what else do we have on the liability table? We've got unearned revenue, which is a liability and has a credit balance of 46,000. 46,000. All right. Let's see what else we got. All right, looks like that's the end of our liabilities. So now we're going to go to stock. And so smart, I would have checked. It has a credit balance of 100,000. 100. All right. And then we have dividends have a debit balance of 31,000. So I'm going to type in dividends, 31,000 debit. All right. And then we have revenue has a credit balance of 112,000. Important to get these on the right side. And then finally, we have expenses with a debit balance 11,200. Type that in first so I don't have to remember it. All right. 250, 11,250. See, I know I'd forget it. And it's going to be expense. All right, folks, moment of truth is here. Do our debits equal our credits? Let's add them up and see. So I'm going to do a sum and add all these ones up. You can do it with your calculator if you're not comfortable using the formulas in Excel or Google Sheets. Whatever makes you happy. All right, so my debits are 532,100 and my credits are 532,100. Happy day for me. So I would have been off if I hadn't remembered that I had missing transactions from accounts payable. If you remember module 3, I said if your trial balance is off, the first place I would look is to make sure that all of your journal entries had been transferred to your T accounts. And that's exactly what happened. I hadn't transferred these 2 journal entries to my T accounts. So anyway, luckily I caught my mistake. All right, now let's put some account numbers in. So I'm going to do just 100, 110, 120, 130. These are all my assets. 140, 150, 160. All right, starting with accounts payable, I'm at my liability. So I'm going to start over with 200, and then I'm going to go 210 for accrued expenses, 220 for accrued revenue. That's it for my liabilities. So now I'm going to go to stock, which I'll call 300, dividends, which I call 310. And then remember, I want to give my own revenue and expenses each their own numbering sequence, and I'm about to show you why. All right, so revenue is going to be 400, and expenses are going to be 500. For some reason, this thing wants to be a little stubborn. Okay, so that is my T account. I've got my accounts. I've got balances in either debit or credit, not both. Each account has to have a balance in debit or credit, not both. And then my overall debits and equal my credits, and I have my account numbers. So I think I'm ready to rock and roll onto the financial statements, which we will do in our next video. All right, see you there.